the divine cough. I know, I'm sure you all, I'm sorry, because I know Charlie's had that cough, and yeah, it's a miserable thing to get through, but you're all getting through it. So whenever anybody needs to cough, just one raise their hand, and then you look around, and then everybody cough at once. You can just get it all out of your system. So thank you, Damien, for reading that powerful passage from Ernest Holmes. I told him, I said, when you read this, you have to be God. And he was going to put reverb on his mic to really impress you all with the power of that passage. So the I am, yeah, you've all heard that, right? I am, that passage, I am. And it seems it's two words, I am. You know, that is so powerful and yet also a mystery at the same time. I am that I am. You are what? I am that. You are what? I am what? I am. And it's just like, okay. And so as I'm looking at this topic, it's about your impersonal self. Last week, Mary touched upon the personal self. The personal self. And when we look at the impersonal, it has many directions that I could take that. The impersonal aspect of our teaching is the law itself. The law, that it is done unto you as you believe. Totally an impersonal concept. You embody as much of God or the divine or spirit as you choose to, and you allow the actions of that divine to work through you and operate through you. It's all the impersonal gifts of the divine. This love, this grace, this peace, this joy. We all have access to that. That is the impersonal giving of the divine to each and every one of us. So as I explored this, I recognized that when I was younger, raised a Methodist, I was looking at the God of the Methodist, and I've shared this before. He was certainly wizardy looking, but he never really had a head. He had a presence about him, arms and legs, but I couldn't ever really see the face of God. And it was too glorious in my imagination, too penetrating with this divine light. And then I took a world religions class in college, and I studied the Upanishads, and they talked about the Brahman and the Atman. And I thought, oh, the Brahman is the impersonal aspect of the divine, the all glory, the all omnipotent, the omniscient, the all that there is, the indescribable, the formless. Oh, and the Atman is that part of our own individualized soul where the divine pours in, individualized as an expression through us. So I started broadening my understanding of what this God is, and I've traveled with it for a lifetime now, and it's still a mystery to me. It's still a mystery to me, the I am. It's when Moses gets this great awakening. You know, can you imagine being that moment where the divine comes and says, I am, and you go, oh, what does that mean? I mean, and they never tell Moses part of it. You know, they just walk away from this, burning bush. I am. What did he say? He said, I am. What does that mean? I don't know. I can just imagine because you cannot figure that out with your mind. That's the play of all this. You cannot figure it out because it is so all-encompassing. We can't figure it out with the linear mind. We must feel it. We must feel that presence with the heart. So my focus today, as I share some stories with you about the I am, is also to have a brief meditation at the end on your personal journey with the I am. Now, one of the teachers I've shared with you before is Sri Shamnoy, and he speaks of the personal approach to God, but he starts it off by speaking that the personal God and the impersonal God are both the same God. The personal God will come to you with a body. He will be most luminous, infinitely more beautiful than the most beautiful human being on earth. Now that made me feel good as my Methodist God, because my Methodist God is a very beautiful God. The impersonal aspect of God is his infinite energy, infinite light, infinite power. When a man stands in front of you, he is personal, but the moment he shows you his power or his capacity in any form, that aspect is impersonal. Similarly, God is both personal and impersonal. He is with form and he is without form. At the same time, God transcends both form and formlessness. Now, how are you guys all doing with an hour of less of sleep with that? Absorbing it? Personal and impersonal, with form and without, God the Supreme encompasses all. God is all that there is. Now, I take that through a lifetime of study, of meditation, of practice, of searching. And then you start to read some of the modern day mystics, Eckhart Tolle and Wayne Dyer and some of the other profound teachers that we have. And they continue to speak of this mystery, this I am. In fact, one of Wayne Dyer's favorite meditations is something that he learned from the Moses Code written by James Twyman. And you can have access to that through the internet. It's called I Am. And it's a profound, beautiful, beautiful musical tribute to the Moses Code. And it's a very powerful meditative practice, just listening to that in the background, because it has the vibrational sounds of the I Am weaved through it. So it's a wonderful practice to have. So these teachers speak to this need to be in the presence of the divine. Think about that for your own self. I started realizing, because I've always questioned this when I've seen certain parts of humanity around the planet, and I'm thinking, well, there's divine in each seed, in each and every one of us. It's all divine. What's wrong with them? And I have this judgment comes up in me, and I think they have access to the same teaching. Why are they being so cruel or unskillful? And in my judgment, but it's ways of humanity that I find just very painful. Animal abuse, child abuse, women abuse, male abuse, whatever it is, I'm unsettled with it. And then I realize that there's a level of race consciousness that we're all fed into, and we're all a part of that consciousness. And yet we have the power and the way to rise above that. So what is this idea about the presence? Here's where it starts to get so deep, because we're taking this mind, the wallpaper of our mind. Think about this precious mind of yours like a room with pure walls on it. When you were born, you had this beautiful mind that perhaps had, if you were born again in this new body, if you believed in a karmic idea, you might be born again with a few impressions, but you have this purity, this pure wall of a mind. And then beliefs, like wallpaper, begin to be layered and layered and layered and scrapped upon the walls of your mind. And sometimes something happens, and this wallpaper gets really stuck into the walls of your mind. But instead of doing the deep processing, we just think, I'll just lay another teaching over that, or I won't really think about that. And so we layer another wallpaper over it. And pretty soon we've got these rooms of mind that are wallpapered with thick years and years of information, beliefs, judgments, qualifications. And what is being asked here by the impersonal and by the divine is that we strip away all of those beliefs, all of that wallpaper, piece by piece by piece. We take down those beliefs until only the pure wall, that pure expanded space remains again. That's the presence. That's what is pointing to the I am. It has stripped away all of the other identifications, all the I am a nurse, I am Sue, I am a mother, I am a sister, I am all the wonderful things this life has allowed me to be in an expression of the divine. But I strip that away, I strip it away, I strip it away until I just am. I just am that presence of the divine. And there then are we the conduit of that truth, an instrument of that love, of those impersonal qualities of the divine. Impersonal not meaning that they're unkind or rude principles. Sometimes that word impersonal seems like sort of an odd word to describe this. But it means that idea that it is all-encompassing and available in its totality to each and every one of us. We just have to clear the way and be present with that. So, Science of Mind teaching, the law has done all it can automatically do for man. It has evolved him to a point of individuality and must now let him alone to discover the secrets of life for himself. So it's all done unto us as we believe, all through a lifetime. And all through that lifetime, a still small voice within has been encouraging us, go deeper, my dear one, go deeper. See the awe and the beauty all around you in the present moment. Clear, clear, clear. Clear it away until you are that Atman, I am the Brahman, this individualized expression, this pure, pristine moment is awakened in you as you. The other thing Ernest Holmes says, the only thing that can deny God is yourself. And in particular, the reading that Damien shared, this very first sentence I had highlighted many times before. I am that which I am the eternal presence of your own self. Thus, there is no mediator between you and myself. There is no mediator between you and the divine, but your own thought. Right there is the whole teaching, the whole message of the divine in a sentence. It is our own thought that keeps us from experiencing that divine moment, that divine impression, that divine love, that divine awakening, to where that we can feel and see everyone on this planet as divine beings, just walking the planet. Each inspiration has a proclamation that I am in the midst of you. Everything that happens, I am is right there, declaring itself, its power, its truth. Ernest Holmes goes on to say, our consciousness of God is both personal and impersonal. It is personal in that it is personified through us. It is impersonal in that we are all using a universal power. When we know that we are using such a power, all doubt as to our ability to use it will vanish, and our words will be spoken with spontaneous reliance on truth. We rely on pure truth, divine truth. And it takes practice. It takes that deep pause. It takes time to get up in the wee hours of the morning when the world is quiet, when there's a silence in your home, and you have some time with your own self to just be and to listen to the divine and to pray holy words into that beautiful, powerful moment of deep silence. Silence is our gift from the divine in which we get to hear that dialogue, to personify that. Sri Aurobindo was one of the later teachers of Ernest Holmes, and he shared that we embody many selves, and we know that. The many voices that are inside of our head. I'll be talking to that tomorrow night with the women. And it's interesting, the many voices in our heads. We know that when we have a dialogue going on inside of us with the many voices and we're kind of, debating with ourselves, within ourselves, that pretty much is the ego. And Eckhart Tolle is real good at pointing to that ego and to help you destructure some of that. We need ego. We certainly need ego to get along in our world and to get along with fellow man and to do our work in this world. But there's a certain way that we tame that ego. And so there was a cute story that Eckhart was talking about, how he was in a situation with this woman that was obviously in the psychotic phase with the voices talking to herself. And he was thinking, wow. And she was really, part of those voices were making her angry. And we've all seen those, they're around, these people are around. But we are those people. I catch myself in my own house going, boy, that was stupid. And I said that out my loud voice. Nobody's here, nobody heard it, I'm okay. But this idea of other voices, we all are doing that. Watch yourself. And Eckhart Tolle even caught himself because he was watching her and interested in what was going on inside of her because she was so contained in that anger. They get off of their bus route and they start walking, and then he realizes, oh my God, we're going to the same place. Oh my gosh, we're going to the same government agency. Who is she? And then he lost track of her, and he got into the restroom, and he found himself literally talking out loud to himself as he was looking in the mirror about her. And then another person left the stall, and he went, oh God, I am that, I am. But I have to say, I think that's the human condition. I think we all end up at one time or another convincing ourselves that we're right, so the out loud voice comes in. Whatever you give your mind to and word to, the law, which is impersonal, is always animating that. So that which we give our energy, our power, remember the all divine is the inspiration and the power flowing through us as us. We all have access to it. If we have too much debris built up in the walls of our mind, it gets squished a little bit. And if we have belief systems of our lack of confidence, our lack of willingness, our insecurities, that is what is demonstrated. That is what becomes animated through you as you. So I ask you how you are projecting your consciousness, this beautiful realm of consciousness. How are you choosing to be the ambassador of that divine presence? Are you being empowered or disempowered by what you're doing? Because it's going to work for you as you work with it. He says in that writing, I am in the midst of you. I am the one who experiences it, and I am its record and its interpretation. Divine presence is the center of all that transpires, the only presence within. The only presence within. In Leonard Jacobson's writing, he shares these words about the face of God. So find yourself in the face of God. After searching for many lifetimes, a man finally arrived at the door of God. He knocked twice and waited. Several minutes later, the door was opened by an old butler. I have come to see the face of God, said the man. What is the point? Replied the butler. Well, for many lifetimes you have looked upon the face of God. Many times you have gazed directly into his eyes, but not once have you recognized him. So what's the point? Please let me see God, pleaded the man. This is my last chance. Very well, answered the butler. But you must promise to accept the face you see as the face of God. I promise, the man said earnestly. Then come with me, said the butler. The man followed the butler along a darkened corridor. They were carrying torches, which gave off a flickering glow. At last they came into a room, and as they entered, the man saw a shadowy figure sitting silently in the darkness. He stepped cautiously forward until the light from his torch fell upon the face of God. This cannot be, said the man. It must be a trick, for he was gazing upon his own face, as if he was looking into a mirror. Remember your promise, said the butler. If this is the face of God, cried the man, then I am God. And as he spoke, the face before him began to disappear. I have disappeared, and now I am God. And the man said to himself, he turned to tell the butler that he was God, but as soon as he saw the butler's face, he saw the face of God. The butler's God, he thought to himself. I don't understand. Don't try to understand, said the butler. Just go outside and look upon the face of God. So the face of God is everywhere present. The individualized form is God shining brightly through you. This light, this divine knowing, this luminous body that we all carry around with us is the body and the face of the divine. And we witness that when we don't try to think about it, when we don't try to think too hard on why somebody said that. Why did they say what they said? My feelings are hurt. When we get small like that, we forget the face of the divine starts to fade away, and we have to look again. We have to look again with a heart that's wide open to the divine presence. So in these short moments that I have left with you to share, I wanted to do this meditation, this I am meditation. The final word from Eckhart Tolle, he said, the unconscious drive behind the ego. The unconscious drive behind all of us is this need to stand out, to be special, to be in control. The need for power, for attention, and for more. The need to feel a sense of separation, the need for opposition. Always a hidden agenda, always a sense of not enough, of insufficient and lack that needs to be filled. That's when we know that we're in an egoic state of being. The underlying emotion that governs all the activity of the ego is fear. This fear of being nobody, the fear of non-existence, the fear of death. All of its activities are ultimately made to eliminate this fear. But the most that the ego can ever do is to cover it up temporarily with an intimate relationship, a new position, a winning at this or that. Illusions, illusions, illusions. They will never satisfy you. Only the truth of who you are, if realized, will set you free. Realize as you work through this practice of just letting your heart go, let your mind go, let your sense of self be carried by the divine. So join with me in this practice together as we touch the I am. We touch the I am. I want you to sit comfortably and close your eyes, and I know we lost an hour, so if you fall asleep, you'll just have to stay for the 10:30. So close your eyes. Whew, whew. Let that divine wash through you. When you close your eyes, you know that is language for the divine. The divine sees, oh, I have their attention. Their eyes are closed. They're quieting their mind, their body. Allow any thoughts and tensions that you have experienced so far, just let them fall away. Feel it in the shoulders of your body, the muscles of your body as you relax and let go. Letting go of physical tension, the physical beingness, especially the muscles of the jaw and the eyes. Any areas that you notice are more tense, you're here now, you're safe, and you're witnessing in the community of other divine beings that you are relaxing as you let go of your tension, you're letting go. Focus on the breath. The breath is the divine, the givingness of the divine. Feel it. As you breathe in and out, the divine is breathing you. Allow it to flow smoothly, breathing in from infinity, out to infinity. Breath not limited, but expanding you, keeping your awareness on the breath as you become one. You are one with the flow of life, with the divine. At one with your being as you breathe in from infinity and out into infinity. As you do so, become aware of the place of peace within, the place where you are most yourself, deep, deep into the center of your being. This is the real you, that place within you beyond the thoughts, the dramas, the identifications of the mind. You are not your thoughts. Breathe deeply, dear ones. You are not your emotions. You are not the role you play. You are the center of pure awareness. Keep your breath focused on the heart, the center of pure being. As you journey to the center, allow yourself to become more and more present here. You are the breath from infinity, and you're breathing out to infinity. Keep your attention on the experience of being and be more deeply. Imagine that this is the center and you are the light. And as you breathe, this light begins to grow and expand with your being. And as you become more and more present, breathing in from infinity and out to infinity, you become the infinite self. You feel the light and the peace of this being. You allow the light to flow through your entire being. You're bathing every organ, every muscle, every cell, aligning your body to its true self. Allow the light to expand outwards beyond your body. Now you're glowing. You're breathing in and out from infinity. Feel the roots of your physical being going deep into the earth, touching all the living things, but touching it with your light. And realize that you are connected to the earth. And give thanks for the life, the divine life that you are living, and the opportunity that you are experiencing to have physical form, and that you're being taught the wisdom of authentic living. Celebrate in this moment, this divine self, this luminous self. Celebrate your true self, breathing in from infinity and out to infinity. As you stay present in your center, experience your light radiating outwards. Feel it. It's a light radiating out from your locality, out across the country, out across the world, across the time and space. Feel your connection with all things, with all beings. You are the infinite self. Breathing, I am that. I am. I am. I am that luminous light, that field of absolute. No longer bound, I am free. I am that infinite light. And I breathe that, and the silence speaks to me. I am that. I am that I am. Luminous light. Ever present, ever giving light, fills you, carries you, surrounds you, is you. And gradually you come back. Gradually you come back to your physical body, back to present moment, back to this moment of time, back into the sanctuary, back into this chair, back into the clothes, back into the body. Back into the self. Keeping your attention on your breath, you're feeling yourself fully present in your body. Oh, this body, this vehicle of expression, this divine luminous field dwells within me as me. I am that I am. I am that I am. And slowly, you feel grounded and centered. And when you're ready, you open your eyes. And you feel like you are ready to greet the rest of the day with a sense of, when I open my eyes, I see the face of God. I am that I am. I am that presence. I am authentic. I have greater wisdom in this moment, greater peace, greater compassion, greater gratitude for life. I am that I am. Feel that connection. And know with me that it is an opportunity and a practice to dance with the divine. To take that which is the gift of the divine, ever flowing, ever present, in all its wealth, in all its abundance, in all its forms, peace, wisdom, joy, beauty, love, flows effortlessly through as we stay open, and that is revealed. It is our way, it is our truth. I give thanks for those of you here, with hearts and minds that are willing to unite with the presence and stay present. So be it, and so it is. Thank you.